Going over to the business blunder of the day, you have Toyota recalling 381,000 Tacoma pickup trucks. Now, they note that they plan to notify customers being impacted by the recall, and it is both the 2023 and 2024 Tacoma trucks, and the recall is going to be officially released over in April, or just tune into this show. Since there's so many business blunders in the automotive community, we usually cover them about a month before the letters actually go out to the owners of the vehicles. Now, specifically, Toyota announced it's going to recall the Tacoma pickup truck to address an issue with parts falling off the rear axle that can impact the vehicle's performance and raise the risk of a crash. How did that get by them? Now, they also noted specifically for trucks sold into the U.S., indicated customers recalled will be noted by mail in April. When asked for comment, Toyota said, quote, welding debris left at the end of the rear axle during assembly during manufacturing could cause certain retaining nuts to loosen over time and eventually fall off, potentially causing a part to separate from the axle, unquote. They also note that, quote, if the separation occurs, this could affect the vehicle's ability to and brake performance, stability and brake performance, increasing the risk of a crash, unquote, which it's kind of funny that they had to spell it out. Like, I mean, again, if you know anything about vehicles or just have a modicum of automotive intelligence, you know, the importance of the axle holding it all together and the wheels. It's kind of obvious, yes, this could be detrimental, but they do have to kind of spell it out for, everyone. Now, I still can't. Now, they also note, quote, for all involved vehicles, Toyota dealers will inspect the rear axle assembly and retighten the axle retaining nuts at no cost to the customer. If the axle components are damaged as a result of the condition, they will be repaired or replaced if necessary based on the inspection of criteria. Which, again, that's still not great news to the consumer because, again, Toyota is known for one thing. Bulletproof reliability is the thing they have going for them. That's why you look at all these articles about the top cars hit over 1 million miles, and it's not 100% Toyotas, but more often than not, it's a Toyota, and then usually subsequently following by Hondas. I mean, there's a reason they're top rated in reliability more often than not, and it's one of those issues where trucks are especially criticized. It's one of the huge, fascinating things with trucks is it's a big culture thing. It's not always, actually, I would argue it's actually mostly about culture versus, in IT, we call, features of product speeds and feeds, how fast the product can work, how fast the processor can do magical things. And with trucks, it's more around the culture. My great-granddad had one, my dad had one. That's a big reason why people buy a certain truck manufacturer, make, model. And Toyota's traditionally struggled in the truck category compared to the big three traditionally, Ford, General Motors, as well as Chrysler, having, the Chevy Silverado, you have the Ford F-150, then you have the Dodge Ram being kind of the big three that take up a majority of the truck market in the United States, which is actually pretty impressive despite all the recalls they have as well. But a truck is supposed to be heavy duty. Fords are supposed to be built tough. They had a whole marketing campaign for quite some time. Interestingly enough, I haven't seen that vernacular being used lately. But I can't imagine Toyota having this big an issue, which one of their flagship vehicles. And it'll be interesting to see how many people are annoyed to hell by this. Because, again, this is also another instance where you have to physically go to the dealership, doing how long this inspection takes. Again, it's always free to the consumer. Now, it's not good for the shareholders in Toyota because they have to pay the dealerships to do this service. But it's also an instance where it's taking up your time, your resources, and in some cases, you have to, heaven forbid, you actually have to leave the truck there overnight. Then you have to worry about even maybe renting a vehicle if the automotive dealership doesn't have a loaner you can use, or you have to deal with paying for an Uber or a Lyft or calling in a favor from a friend. So obviously, it's extremely inconvenient. It chisels away at the brand identity of being a extremely reliable vehicle. So especially because it is a Toyota and that's their whole image of the company, that certainly is the business blunder of the day. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in today. Again, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you could click that button, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or a comment. It's a great way to give me some additional feedback. So let me know how I can make the show better and better over time. Lastly, don't forget to take the time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.